Alright boys, how was all done?
Definitely good.
Dwindling in it, the numbers. 5 on a bounce, 5 wins in a row. Attendance to the podcast is dwindling. By the end of the season, I reckon it'll just be me talking to an empty room. Picking arguments with myself about how Robbie Neilson will have his third Scottish Cup in hand. Yous will be at the street parade and I'll be sitting in here writing on this wall, Robbie. We try to think of some angle to make Robbie Neilson seem shite. His new haircut can be one of them. That's a shocker, isn't it?
Brutal.
Better than what it was.
What has he done there? He's seen Barry Mackay and thought, right, I'm copying that. No, he looks like a Karen. He looks like every Karen under the sun moaning in Asda about out-of-date mints.
Karen Nielsen.
Right. Welcome back to This Is My Story, your unofficial Hearts podcast. As we say every week, our officials are our own and absolutely, normally, as always, miles off it. So, Tam, what's been happening?
Not much. I had the Rona last week. Missed 2 games. 2 good games. So, just on to moan again.
Good. We've missed you. Shanks, been happening?
Similar pishy excuse to Tam. Missed the game again at the weekend. I've not actually been to Tiny in like 2 months, so I'm itching. But I did go to a wedding. It was good, and I got shouted at for watching the game on my phone during the meal. It's all right.
What was the meal?
Beef.
Chicken Balmoral.
Beef with some sort of jus.
Sounds utter shite. You should have watched the football anyway, so you did the right thing.
Did I?
You did the right thing. Right, Kev, what's been happening?
Not much. I do have to bring up a comment that was made during the game on Saturday by Ando, which is possibly the reason why he's not actually here this week. And about 62 minutes into the game on Saturday, he asked me and his mate the question, how long have we been playing with a yellow ball? Like we'd only just brought a yellow ball on just after a throw-in or something along those lines. To which I've actually gone away and found out that we've actually been playing with a yellow ball since the 2017-2018 season. So Ando was sharp and on point with regards to playing with a yellow ball.
You know he's going to cut this. There's not a chance he's
going to cut it. I think if I can bring it into the conversation anyway, as much as possible.
The ball is as yellow as his teeth. There you go. You can keep that. You can keep that in for you, Ando. There we go. See, every time you wear that t-shirt, Shanks, it always reminds me. Did I ever tell you the story about walking round the corner at Tiny Arms for a derby when I was about, 11 or something, and somebody went, "Give me an H." Everyone went, "H." "Give me an E." "E." "Give me an A." "A." "T." "S." And everyone went, "Heats." "Heats." I was like, what? Superb. Absolutely superb. Right. This week, we'll have all the usual nonsense. We've got Kevin McKenna as players. We've got a Tamdown. We'll go through some headlines, talk about some of the injuries. Obviously, it's international football. We'll look a bit into our run and form into the international breaks this year, plus our form after them. We'll review Livingston, another comfortable home victory at the weekend. Preview Ross County, our last away game before the split. And discuss the elephant in the room, which is the fact we've got about 8 derbies coming up in the next 4 weeks. Asterisks if they make the top 6. So we'll dive into all that sort of stuff and talk about everything in between. Sound all right to you, boys?
Sounds perfect.
Cool. Before we get the ball rolling, obviously on Saturday we had one of the home games the home game that started the ticket drive. I think we gave away. In total so far, we've gave away over 500 tickets. On Saturday, we gave away 150 tickets plus 35 scarves for Broomhouse Primary. So for everybody in the podcast, everybody at Broomhouse Primary, thank you for the banners. Kev will give you a shirt next week. It was class to see all the wins and that enjoying football. That's what football's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly was.
Aye. And then the last one there, just a shout out to wee Byron as well. We've been in contact with a wee guy who's starting a wee hard journey over the next couple of weeks. We've been in contact with him and his family. His Uncle Ross has been superb. A couple of the players as well, thanks to Barry Mackay and Cammy Devlin for giving him a couple of wee videos to G him up before what's been a horrible week. So Byron, all the boys on the podcast, we're all thinking about you and all the best. All righty.
So
Cool. Right. Kev, let's have your Kevin McKenna's as players for this week.
No worries at all. Couple of interesting ones for this week. First one,
you say.
First one, a colourful character who finished his career in maroon. 3 goals in his 22-game Hearts career, and he did work for Jose Mourinho at Real Madrid. So there you go. That is your first one for this week. Second one is spent a couple of seasons in Gorgie, winning a Scottish Cup, 11 league goals plus 1 in a testimonial, I believe, and an internationalist whose celebration caused the turfing out of one of the podcast members at Easter Road.
I missed the whole start of that bit for the second guy, but I think I got the answer. Say again.
So I'll give it just for you and take the wax at your ears. Spent a couple of seasons in Gorgie winning a Scottish Cup, 11 league goals plus 1 in a testimonial, and an internationalist whose celebration caused the turfing out of a member of the podcast at Easter Road. Allegedly, sorry.
Allegedly, mate. Allegedly, right. Coolio. Nice. Right, will we do the answers at the end?
Let's do the answers at the end. Because Tam's got no idea who the first one is.
absolutely.
I'm trying to rack my brain as to who the first one is as well.
That could be interesting this week then. Could be interesting.
I'll get you to repeat it again towards the end.
Cool.
So I can get it. Right, Tam, get your Tamdown. Talk us through what we're doing, what the feature is, and then we'll get cracking.
Tamdown.
Tamdown. The first of its kind. So basically we're going through this week we're going through a list of players, and I'll go round the houses. We can count them off. There's basically 24 players that we have. And in honour of Mr. Craig Halkett get his first Scotland call-up, I just want to get more international football into this podcast. So
I fucking knew it was going to be something like this, you little Cam.
So I would like you to name the 24 players that have had a cap for Scotland whilst a Hearts player since 1990. So, Kevin, kick us off.
I think this is absolutely disgusting, but Craig Gordon.
Correct. Corbett?
Try to pick my strategy. Do I start for 1990 and work my way up, or do I start for now and work my way back?
You know, Shanks has got no chance at 1990s.
I'm going to say David Weir.
Correct. Shanks?
Lee
Get off your
Wallace.
phone.
Alright, hands where we can see them.
Ando's not here this week. I thought we were all pals. All right. Who did I say? I went Lee Wallace.
You were correct with Lee Wallace. Kev?
Gary Mackay.
Incorrect. Since 1990.
I'm going to check that one later.
You can check that one. Corbett?
I'm staying in a similar era and saying John Robertson.
Absolutely. Shanks?
Gary Naismith.
Absolutely. Kev?
Paul Ritchie.
Correct. Corbett?
Alan McLaren.
Correct. Shanks?
Callum Patterson.
Correct. Kev?
I fucking hate international football. And I'm not lying about that just to make it up. I do actually hate it. Neil McCann.
Correct. One singular call-up as well while the Hearts play. Corbett?
Colin Cameron.
He
He'll
is
get a
there.
call when he plays
No,
there.
he did. He got 11. So you're all good. Shanks?
Paul Hartley.
Absolutely. Kev? I'm going to start skipping you, man.
Did Ryan Stevenson get his call up for Scotland while at Hearts?
Nope.
Fuck off.
Corbett, this tactical plan doesn't need to happen tonight, I don't think, but go for it.
So, Is it just who's had Scotland call-ups whilst playing for us? Is that it?
Aye, exactly. So
Or-
they've
I
had to
thought it
be
was their
played.
first.
Gordon Jury.
Not their first.
Gordon Jury.
Not on my list.
Weird.
Stephen
Okay.
Stephen Presley.
Yep.
Yeah.
If I can find them, there is. Kev. It's not their first call-up, just to clarify. It's any call-up while being a Hearts player in the
Andy
90s.
Andy Webster?
Yep.
Fuck off,
Yep.
Kev.
One of the most as well. Corbett.
How many are left?
11.
Craig Halkett.
He's not had a cap yet.
Oh, Cap. All right,
Yes.
sorry. Right. Let's start again then. Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah. Shanks. Currently leading the way, Shanks.
Robbie Nielsen.
Aye, one call-up.
There's one point where literally it was Gordon, Webster, Presley, Nielsen, Hartley.
It was. Aye. Kev.
Nah, no idea.
Yep. Corbett.
This is what.
Fucking hate Scotland, Tam. Why are you doing this to us?
Just think of some Scottish players over the last wee while that have been decent.
Is there any like proper relevant ones, like
100%.
recent ones?
There's
that
one
we've
currently
noted?
playing in our squad. Recently, he was
Oh, I
quite
think I might know that one.
relevant for Scotland. Prevalent, that's wrong.
Oh, aye. Fuck aye. John Sutter.
Aye. Sweet.
Easy for you to say.
Shanks.
I'm fucked now.
This is meant to be quick. I'm really glad I've done this.
So you know the issue? This is why I hate Scotland. Do you know what the issue is? You don't even have to be good to get a Scotland call-up. That means we could have anybody, any random Hearts player.
I don't know.
Oh,
I
I've
don't know
got
what
one.
era we're in here.
It is a very, very
Dave-
random because there is one.
Talking about
Dave-
shite players
McPherson.
just jumped into my head.
Dave McPherson, correct? All right.
I was going to say Slim, but I didn't. Obviously.
Right. We're back to the start. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to go. Kev. There's a few
7 to
more.
go.
Your 90s era.
Scott Severn.
Aye.
Oh, brilliant. Aye.
Corbett.
I just remember there was a goal, but seen a goal of him the other day there.
Tatty better.
Yep. Shanks.
Name keeps popping into my head. It's definitely wrong because he was past it by the time he came to us. Darren Jackson.
No, man. Kev. There's a few big names still there.
Shut your silly wee face now.
There's two people that are very hated in the list, and then there's two goalkeepers.
Neil Alexander.
Nah.
No, of course not. Don't be so fucking stupid, Kevin, you twat.
Are we still going round
Okay.
in order here?
John McLaughlin.
Nah.
Craig-
Wait, here's one.
Craig
My left
Levine.
field one. Can I have another one?
Craig Levine has one, yes.
Yep. What about, is a pure random one? What about Gary
I was
McSwiggan?
going to say him.
Absolutely.
I was going
Yep.
to say him. Fuck.
Right, it's a free for
just
all.
out-
I counted it wrong. There is
Why?
actually 3 left now.
What about Alan Johnston?
Nah.
No, I never got a call up when he was with Hearts.
Henry Smith.
Henry Smith is right, Kev.
Henry Smith.
Yes, get on you.
I was trying to look because he was around about the same time as Robbo.
You
Right,
know
two
what?
left.
Have
for a
these
laugh.
Two
go-
left.
Fulton.
2 left, and they both
Oh,
had
that's- I
one
don't
call
care.
up while playing for Hearts. So
Both had what?
one is a keeper, and as I say, one is pretty.
How many more keepers is there?
There was 2 keepers on the list. No, 3, including Gordon.
Well, we've said there 3, have we not?
Nah, there's one more.
Right.
I don't even care who he is, so put it that way.
Since 1990.
Nicky Walker.
Aye. There you
1990.
go, Corbett.
I'm going to wait till this
No,
is
there's
over,
one-
then I'm going to check this.
One more. What position, Tom?
Because this is genuinely a mindfuck. Thanks very much, Tom.
Position's a centre mid, and it's a fucking travesty that he ever got a call up. If you ask me.
Don Cowie.
If it's fucking Don
No,
Cowie, I'm
it's not.
chucking my computer.
It's nearly as bad. Had two spells at Hearts.
Mikey Stewart.
Yeah.
Aye.
And you took that to take the lead.
Oh, no way.
And win it. So close. So Corbett number 1, Shanks 2, Kev. Shite.
I really don't care. I genuinely don't care.
You don't care?
Just gonna,
I'm going to check all these.
Just the first
I'm just going to Google it because I'm so angry.
I got the details for London Hearts, so you can go by that.
Fucking hell, Nicky Walker got 2 scope.
They were there for the only reason I remembered is because the Bumblebee Henry Smith top thing, I'm sure is season 91-92, and that's when I think he was playing with Scott. He got a Scotland call up about then as well.
You alright, Kev? You got something to say here?
I can remember him. Kev, you're like a granda that should be handing out Werther's originals with that jumper. Is that brown?
No, it's maroon, you
I've never seen that. I've never seen somebody wear that brown
It's
jumper.
maroon. I can promise you it's
It's
maroon.
like story time with Kev. I feel like I should be sitting on your knee, you feeding me wee Werther originals, man, wee pedo pellets.
Fuck's sake.
Right.
Just to point out, Gary Mackay got his last call up in 1988. There you go. Whoever said Gary Mackay, I think it was you, Kev.
Me, aye.
Right. Let's try and build it back up, mate, because international football is absolutely ganting. And I had it in brackets here, don't speak about Scotland, and we've just spent 25 minutes talking about Scotland. So
let's put it this way, Tam, you're not doing a Tamdown again.
Nah, he's a little Tam.
Why do you think I've done this? Take all responsibility away.
Headlines for this week. Obviously, when we had last week's podcast, we were surmising who we would get in the semi, and then as we all knew anyway, it was always going to be Hibernian. So Hearts versus Hibs, the Scottish Cup semi-final. Early thoughts, confidence. What are you thinking?
Never confident in any game against Hibs, if I'm being truthfully honest. On the day, in the advance, in the run-up, yeah, feel confident. Then I'll go wobbly. I mean, nearly as wobbly as you, Corbett, but just not that far. I've
just noticed you've got pure Hibs curtains. Why you got Hibs curtains in the background, Kev? Is that pure Hibs starting in it?
They're grey.
Nah,
I'm not being funny. I know that
you
can't smell, and I know that you can't actually taste anything. But quite clearly, your eyesight's gone as well.
Kev, let's be honest. Your
Anybody else
tasting
thinking they're
curtains
green?
are fucking bogging because they are smelly.
Okay. Could say something, but I'll know because she'll absolutely batter me if I say anything about curtains. But we'll leave it there.
Sorry, darling. I've set the curtains on fire.
I was going to make a Manscaped joke about curtains, but
so
we'll leave
that's
it.
where I was going.
We'll leave it. We'll move on. Right, so no confident on the day, but before it, buzzing with confidence, Kev.
I think so. I think again, if you look at on paper and everything else, I think on paper again we've got a much stronger squad. I think there's definite players in our squad that would walk into theirs, and I don't think there's many of their current squad that would walk into ours in the current play pattern and the way in which we're actually playing the game, etc., etc. I don't see any of the Hibs team walking into a current Hearts squad. So from that point of view, yes, I do feel confident. Will I feel like that on the day? No, I won't. I will probably be shitting like you have been today, mate.
Aye. It's all mad swings and roundabouts in it, and like some of the Hibs pals and folk that talk to us that are listening to the pod that are Hibs fans or whatever, we've pure swapped cultures at the club. They've got that pure jam tomorrow mentality where they keep like this wee sort of comfort blanket that tells us that it's a project and in 6 months' time they're going to be flying, and this connection they've got with Norway and all these superstars that are coming, and the connection with MLS or whatever, they just completely and utterly ignore that they've won like 2 games in 2022, scored like 4 goals or something like that. So a 4-0 Hibs in the semi is where I'm going. Shanks, what about you? What's your thoughts? Early thoughts on it?
Always nervous there, but quite quietly. We'll just see how it turns out. But I'm never confident when we go to Hampden. But we've never made an arse out against them so far. So I'm sure
Brilliant. We're adding in all the making all these beautiful clips for Hibs fans when it goes tits up.
It'll definitely be a meme.
They can come and batter us, aye. So that was good. Tam, what about, we spoke about it pre-pod. I think the tone will be set for me anyway in the derby at Tynecastle before the semi. What about yourself? What's your thoughts?
I think you have to think that's going to play a part in the game. I've seen folks suggesting that might be a case that both play shite teams against each other, but we'll both have something to play for at that point. It's going to be a good sort of... I can't even think what to say there. I'm just going to cut that. But no, it's going to be like a good sort of like gauge of how the game's going to go at Hampden. Obviously, it'll be a different occasion, a lot more fans and bigger pitch, etc. But I think we have to really put that as the marker for before we go to the semi-final.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'll test the water with my confidence levels as to where I am when we play the derby at Tynecastle. You know, obviously the games that we've played so far this season have been pretty dog shit, 2 boring 0-0 draws. I'd say the second one at Easter Road, we kind of, you know, I thought we dominated loads of the game, long spells of the game, and then kind of fell away or whatever. And obviously there's incidents in both, but I think that one there, I think Hearts will put a marker down in the league, and then we go to Hampden. We have to talk about it as well, obviously, because common sense flies about Scottish football so regularly, and there's always so many great decisions made. There's 4 teams playing, 2 of them are in Glasgow. There's 2 kickoff times, one of them being 2 o'clock in the afternoon, one of them being 12 o'clock. Obviously, common sense said put the teams that don't live in Glasgow for the 2 o'clock kickoff, so public transport they can get there. Good decision, wasn't it? All around it. That makes sense, doesn't it? To have us kick off at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday.
No, like the Glasgow teams ever get any preference for the SFA. It's not like that ever happened. So it was a big surprise for me.
Aye. Fucking stupid. A 12 o'clock, 12:15 kickoff on a fucking Saturday, and they get the 2 o'clock kickoff on the Sunday when they can all do whatever they want and take their time and have a wee jolly, have a day out, and we've got to fucking jump on trains and buses and hope that we can get to Glasgow in time for the kickoff. Again, the cynic in me says that you've got an opportunity to sell the game, make our game look amazing. Look how good our cup tie was against St Mirren. Look how good the cup tie was, Hibs v Motherwell. Like, the opportunity for this to be a cracker is unbelievable, and to put it on such a shitty kick-off time, I don't think it does anybody a service. But we've moaned on here many times about how shite the SFA is, so we'll move on. Obviously, we'll do more of next week's podcast. Will be more of a derby build-up for not next week, because international football's fucking ruined our lives. It'll be when that's finished and we get back to it. Talking of international football, Tam, you can have 5 minutes. Talk to us about Craig Halkett getting a call up.
I don't want to, because you'll make somebody put the windy noise over it. So I'm not doing it.
That was my plan. That was my plan. Come on, do it. Talk to us about. Or are we just saying Craig Halkett got a Scotland call up?
Well-deserved Scotland call up. So congratulations to him. He's been a rock for us. So. And he's better than fucking Grant Hanley or whatever shite would be playing instead.
That's true. All jokes aside or whatever, it's well deserved. I don't like our players going on international duty. I don't like our players going for 2 friendlies when, like you said, we're coming to such a pivotal point of the season. But for him personally, where he's been and all that sort of stuff, it's the type of rewards that players will be buzzing for. So well done, Halks. He's definitely proven me wrong this season, as I was a massive doubter of him. We've said before on here, there's loads of stuff I really like about Craig Halkett. He clearly gets the club, but no, it just seems to be lacking a bit of quality sometimes. But he's fucking made me look a right dick. So fair play, well done. I suppose the last thing we'll touch on in international football is Barry Mackay. He's I said it last week. I didn't want Barry Mackay scoring goals because Barry Mackay scoring goals, assists, playing at the level that he's playing right now, playing for Scotland. I'm not ready to say goodbye to Barry Mackay. Yes, fucking right.
Yeah.
There you go, boy.
You
Spitting
heard
bars.
Martindale say it in
bars.
his interview after the game as well. Just it's a pleasure to see him playing at the moment, and we're lucky to have him for now. But I can see us cashing in at some point soon. But until that time, let's march on.
Right. Couple of more headlines as well. I was never ever a fan of it, as you well know. And Shanks, you found the reason why I wasn't a fan of it when you were sitting on the bog surfing the internet and found the third kit, the Umbro Inter Milan, for £2.99 on the Umbro website. But I must say, the third kit on Saturday with an actual sponsor on it and the gold sponsor looked immense. I thought it looked quality.
It's Big Hearts, isn't it? It's Big Hearts that effectively sponsored the strip on Saturday. And am I right in saying that they're actually auctioning them off?
Yeah.
So
they are now.
The gold lettering on the back as well just sets it off. It looks bang on.
Aye, it looked proper decent, which was good. It's good to see. So 14 points clear. Would have been set. We tweeted to say that we're 16 points clear, just as Dundee United scored their winner. But again, things have fell for us this season, haven't they? Whenever we've picked up points, everybody round about us has dropped points. Whenever we've dropped points, everybody round about us has dropped points. So Saturday was no different, where Hibs and Aberdeen sort of slitting each other's throat, as they like to say in the business, taking points off each other. Dundee United and St Mirren taking points off each other. Motherwell losing, all that type of stuff. It was a good weekend for Hearts. Is it done now? Third in the bag?
Don't want to say it, but aye.
Surely.
Aye, but Hibs Twitter can have this. It's done. And if come June or whenever this May, when the season's finished, if we have made an absolute tammy it, use this clip. It's fine. We deserve to be battered anyway. Batter us into oblivion. Third is done. It's in the bag.
So it's episode name. We're going to Europe or
Listen
Flyers right now.
We'll get the channel tunnel dig. Right. There's obviously the last thing we'll touch on there. Obviously, we're into now an international break. We did a bit of digging before to look at our runs into the international breaks and then our runs out of. So first international break of the season, we were 3 undefeated, 4 undefeated. Came out of it into a draw with Hibs. Then I don't get it wrong. I think we went on a couple of games undefeated again after that. And then obviously we went into the international break on an unbeaten run and then played Rangers, where we drew. Then we were on an unbeaten run coming into the international break and played Motherwell and lost. So we've had 2 draws and a loss after the game, directly after the international break. And it does feel like if you could pick a time for an international break, it's probably the worst time is right now, because the team is absolutely flying in it.
You say that, but at the same time, we've got however many players injured. It might just be the wee bit of rest they might need to all get back to sort of match fitness.
But then at the same time, if they were available for Dingwall, would you change it after the performance on Saturday? I don't think I would.
No, and that's the balancing act, isn't it? Because we've harped on for ages and ages and ages, as consistency for me has been something that for years and years and years was what we struggled with. Team changing every week, injuries all the time, random transfer windows where we turn over half the squad, all that sort of stuff. Consistency is the key. I think we've used the least amount of players and subs this season out of every team in the Premier League. You know what I mean? And you look at, when you think of squad depth and quality in there, I think that tells its own story how we compare to others in the league as well. So you're right though, I wouldn't change. If everybody was back fighting fit and we were playing Ross County tomorrow, I wouldn't change any. The team that played on Saturday would be the team that played tomorrow, in my opinion. Shanks.
Yep.
The only thing it would be good for us to have maybe have a wee look at is, of those games and those results, where were they? So given we've just come out of the Championship, obviously have we got the experience of the travel aspect? So obviously we're at home we are at home on Thursday night. We've not got that to worry about. Whereas maybe like the likes of your Old Firm, so off the back of that Rangers game, they're putting their miles in left, right, and centre at the moment. Bit more experience than maybe our squad. So that's another way to look at it. So hopefully, just a wee drive along the M8, that'll be nice, tucked up, wrapped up in cotton wool, ready to go for the game on the Saturday. But I guess you're looking at it from the point of view of just the break as opposed to the boys that are actually playing. So, aye, the momentum we lose, and it's what Robbie does to keep the squad together during that time. Do we get a relax in the training schedule? Are the boys still going to be getting called in? Are they on a holiday? How's it going to work?
They've came out and said they are on a holiday, to be fair.
I like when you talk sense and it's utter shite. I like it because you sound so convincing in what you're talking about, but it makes no sense, which is good. But it's fun. I like it. Craig Gordon's literally been the only Hearts player that's been away on international duty.
I realised that. 37
yeah, I could see could see the life sucking out of you as you continued to go, Hank, and he's going to come for me as soon as I stop talking.
Just feel free to shove it right up your arse.
Kev, are you worried about it, or just part and parcel of football?
I think there's both elements here. It is part and parcel of it of football. But at the end of the day, the only players that are actually away with the international squad is Halkett and Gordon. The rest of them have all got time off to go and spend with their families, recover. We've seen on Saturday Halliday go off, but going by what some of the news reports are, and Robbie's interview was more along the lines of, I think it was just a bit of a dead leg that he had more than anything else. So for that point of view, he'll be fine for next Saturday. I do like the idea of giving the guys, a bit of time. We mentioned, or you mentioned there just now, about how the fact we've not used a massive squad turnover, the least amount of substitutes. The guys do need to actually, recoup and recover as best they possibly can. And by giving them 2 or 3 days to spend with the family, to go maybe away to, the sun, for example, for 3 or 4 days, given that restrictions have been dropped, might actually be a good move. Might be a good thing to
any of the Hearts players go to the sun, I'll be fucking raging. That's a rag of paper. Get them banned for tiny.
Well, it was either that or they went to the Star, and that's just that's just a pub down the road for me. So for that point of view, definitely didn't want them going there. But no, I think there's two sides of it. I would hope that the international break doesn't have that impact, and I still think that all in all, I think we should be okay for next week's game. However, we also got to look at Ross County. They're not the top scorers out with Celtic and Rangers, so they definitely have an offensive element of their game. I know that the goals they scored against us earlier in the season were absolute flukes, stroke deflections on both occasions. So going to make next week's game quite an interesting one, but one I would expect us to win.
Nice. And then it actually just reminded me there, because you've said it a couple of times, that after all my digging out of Gary O'Connor for saying water under the fridge, and then John Joe Kenny or whoever it was last week saying eating around the bush, last week I listened back to the podcast and I tried to say part and parcel of football, and I said fart and parcel, and no one picked it up.
I must admit, I think you made a mistake at the beginning of the podcast tonight, but I'll wait for Tam to go.
All of our officials are our own.
I said fart and parcel of football.
And all of our officials are our own. Magic.
Aye, there you go. Right, let's talk about it then. Saturday, Heart of Midlothian 2, Livingston 0. As if you could draw a picture of what a comfortable football match looked like, aspects of that game turned into a training match for Hearts. It was so comfortable, and it was great to see us treat that shitty little club the way they deserve to be treated, because they're an embarrassment, a shit stain on Scottish football, and to put them in their place one more time. And actually it depresses me, the idea that we have to play them one more time this season. Get them folded, get them in the bin. They're a fucking travesty of a football team. But Hearts were superb.
Aye.
Bit positive.
wholeheartedly agree with it. Every single part of that statement.
Thomas, what did you like about the game Saturday?
As you say, it was we just constantly looked in control. The first half, I don't think I've ever seen as much like control this season that we've had. There was only really that 10 minutes after the half time that Livingston kind of came back into it. I wish we'd been a bit more clinical in front of goal. Try to sound like Robin Nielsen there, but that's what he said. But it was just easy, especially as we've just discussed. We've got so many injuries. It's good to see that our sort of so-called not strongest 11 still can produce performances like that.
Do you know what I found really weird, right? How the fuck has Craig Gordon made Team of the Week? He was in his house watching the game on Hearts TV, listening to Craig Fowler and fucking Jimmy Sanderson doing the commentary. He only popped back in after halftime to make sure the boys were all right and fired back up the road.
How did you save he made?
How
he made that one save. One save. Yeah.
And it wasn't even a save. He just stuck his hand out and went, "Thanks, mate." It was literally like the most bog standard save ever.
Pretty much, yeah.
He had nothing to do at all.
Right, Tam, will you talk us through? I was unfortunate I had to work at the weekend due to the fact that we've got so many derbies coming up. I've had to get some brownie points into the bank, and like I said, Livingston are a shit state in Scottish football, and I won't grace them with my presence. So I thought I can pass this one. Talk us through starting 11s, changes, shape, all that sort of stuff.
So I think obviously the starting 11. Fuck, I was down with COVID, man. You're really testing my COVID brain here. Now we made one change. Obviously, the change we probably all wanted. McArev came back in instead of Woodburn, which is probably correct, exactly what we wanted. I forgot what else you asked.
Shape.
We'll just talk us through the team then.
We obviously stuck with a 4-2-3-1. Gordon, Atkinson, who I thought Atkinson had his best game in a Hearts shirt that I've seen. I've been quite critical of the boy. I don't think he's really been up to much, but I thought he was his best performance with Hearts. Then we had Halkett, Kingsley, who was left back? Aldi, Berry, who obviously went off injured, Haring, Mackay, Boyce. Oh my God, McArev, Sims.
Hey,
really testing the brain.
There we go.
I tell you what, by the way,
get Ando to speed all that up. Jeez, 15 minutes.
What I do want to say is, how fucking good is Liam Boyce, by the way?
Aye.
He absolutely ran the show.
Talk about Liam Boyce in a wee second as well, but you're right. It was absolutely, he has turned into fucking prime Messi or something like that playing in the 10. He's like outrageous. Everything we do goes through him. Like, it's been brilliant. Kev, we spoke about it there when we had a Tam break. Andy Halliday has been superb the last 2 or 3 matches since he's been sort of brought in, and again he's played in a variety of positions, and all right, never set the world on fire in terms of he's never going to be amazing or do something outrageous or whatever, but he's turning into Mikey Smith territory of ask him to do something and he'll do it, and he'll give you 7 out of 10 every week.
Yeah, I think Halliday gets a little bit of bad press. I know there's a couple of guys in some of the group chats that I'm involved in who don't like the fact that he's a Rangers guy through and through, and that's fine.
You can say Bradley. You can say Brad. It's fine. He understands.
It wasn't actually. But there's also the fact that he's involved in a podcast. I mean, who would want to do something stupid like that?
You can also say Corbett. We all know that that's me. Like, come on, for fuck's sake, Kev.
But I think what you're starting to see from Halliday is the fact that he gets the club. I think he's actually now starting to actually understand more about the club, and with that, is performing. I like the fact that, as you say, you can put him in at left wing back, you can put him in centre mid, because that's where he went into after Benny went off after 36, 37 minutes on Saturday. And he didn't look out of place. He knew perfectly well that his job in there was to keep the ball moving forward, was to find that pass and where need be, break up any form of attack from a Livingston point of view. That didn't happen. Livingston didn't have any real emphasis going forward from that point. So he probably found Saturday's game a really easy, sort of welcome into the sort of middle of the park, and Haring supported him, pretty well in that position. I think you see from my point of view, when you take him out of the team, I think sometimes you find that you don't have that same kind of bite. You still don't have that same kind of tracking back element. And I've been, as I say, I've been quite impressed with him since he signed the extension and contract.
Aye. And like I think we said it loads last year as well, right? And we'll go back to it, but last year playing for Hearts in the fucking Vida League in front of no fans, that's not playing for Hearts. Do you know what I mean?
No.
You might have had the Hearts top on, you might have been out representing Hearts or whatever, but you're not playing for Hearts. That's not what the club's all about. And then obviously the gradual build up to full houses at the start of the season. Now the fact that they've got 10, 15, 20 games under their belt with 2,000 to 4,000 away fans every week, 15 to 17,000 home fans every other week, they're starting to get what it's like to build a connection with the club, if you know what I mean. Like the fan base, and that's when Hearts are at their strongest. Do you know what I mean? That's when something I like the most about Robbie this time round compared to the last time. Robbie the first time round was all about take the emotion out of the game, play our game, focus on all that sort of stuff. This time he's much more bullish in terms of like always reference the crowd. He's always talking about the crowd. He's always talking about playing under a full house at the light or under the lights if it's midweek games. He's always saying how amazing the away fans are, all that sort of stuff. Like he's starting to understand the energy and the connection between what the players do on the park to what happens in the stands, and I think we're reaping the rewards for it as well. Kev, you were at the game Saturday. Other than Andy Halliday, what else impressed you about Hearts?
Well, we spoke about it just a few minutes ago. There was a couple of real standout performances. I think Halkett stood out again. He looks a lot more confident on the ball. One thing I do want to say is a couple of seasons ago and last season especially, you looked at Halkett and you wondered if he was, after training going to get yourself a fish supper with a single sausage on the side just to keep himself going. This season he looks a lot fitter. And I think what you're finding over the last 12 months of playing alongside Suter, you're actually seeing him grow in confidence and he'll take the ball forward. He was the one player again on Saturday who would actually, from the back, step into the midfield and actually make a telling pass. So I liked the way that Halkett did that on Saturday. And as I say, Boyce playing in the number 10 on Saturday, looked a different player. Everything was going through him. There was an absolute superb ball. I think it was a ball that was played by Haring over the top for him. And he actually pulls it out of the air. My initial thought was, oh shit, he's going to pull his hammy. Thankfully, that wasn't the case, and he made a lovely inside, pass on the inside for Sims. But he definitely looks like that could be his place in the team rather than maybe that out and out striker.
I agree, and I do love to laugh that I would pay money to be Craig Halkett fit. I would absolutely. I've started an all liquid diet because it's been 2 weeks since I last seen my knob. I would pay good money to be Craig Halkett fat like. But you're right, Shanks. We spoke about it last week. Ando made a Tammy himself with his Ellis Sims chat. Ellis Sims was obviously involved in both the goals, being a nuisance, being in and around the 6-yard box trying to score. But the partnership that he seems to be. Remember at the start of the season, it was like Boyce was great, Mackay was great, but we couldn't really fit. We didn't know who should be playing on the right or who should be playing alongside him, whether it be Gino, whether it be GMS, be it be such and such Woodburn. Now that triangle seems complete because Boyce is a great volley for Sims. Sims holds it up brilliant for Mackay. Mackay's got the intelligence to find both of them. Boyce has got the intelligence to find both of them. It's really clicking for them in that area, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I don't think there's any selfishness as well. It's a case of we'll just get the ball down, we'll get it in the back of the net, we'll look to see who's free. I think we didn't. I'm surprised at that, to be honest, because you think that Sims is going to want to come up here and try and bag a good number of goals, but he's quite happy to play boys in, as you said. He's slid in. He slid one across the 6-yard box for the first. he's then dug us out on the byline to play it back into Atkinson as opposed to trying to do something sexy himself. So, yeah, that's what we need from him. If he's not going to be an out-and-out finisher, fair enough. But as long as he keeps grafting up there, he's not somebody that when he's got the ball at his feet that I'm particularly nervous. If you think back a few months to Nandwilly in that spot, I think it's night and day. It just brings a wee bit of confidence about him, and you can see the rest of the boys round about him feeding off that. And write that down because that's the best thing I've ever said on the podcast.
It was coherent. It made sense.
I'm just going to log off now.
It was true. That was fine. And you brought up the Nandley thing that I wanted to talk about because I felt it was very fitting when I watched the highlights that people, I think Dick Amona shared that Nandley and Loic Damour are now playing in front of fucking gazebos with fans in them. That tells you the level that they are. They fucking deserve to be Berlin football. There was one big, massive. My mum's having a party on Saturday. I bet you she's borrowed that gazebo off Nando. The whole family underneath that. That is exactly where it is.
But not that I want to give the guy any credit, but the actual strike from Damour was actually not too bad. But again, that's his level.
Shut up, Kev.
Who cares, man? You've just ruined Shanks' beautiful moment where it made sense. But
see you next year.
And I thought McAnuff contributed out there as well. I thought he had a very good game. I liked Robbie's comments about, and it ties in with what we said last week, that if there was anybody in the team that was going to score a slide tackle, it was always going to be Benny, and that's him got 2 in 2 weeks. So it's brilliant to see it. Like we tweeted saying we're now scoring too many goals from the midfield. I know we said we bemoaned it before, but now it's like, right, boys, calm down. We've got enough goals for the midfield. Let's get Boyce to 20 goals this season. But Barry Mackay, I could talk about Barry Mackay all day. He's outrageous. Everything he does, his vision, superb. His work rate goes totally and utterly unnoticed because of the fact that he is quite nonchalant on the ball, etc. But his desire to win the ball back, his desire to make runs even though he doesn't get the ball, drag people, he's just such an intelligent player. I mean, you couple that with the fact that Liam Boyce as well is just outstanding. It's pretty exciting stuff. Like
100%. Like
have to keep it.
Aye. That turn of pace that Barry Mackay just does with the ball at his feet. I don't know how he does it. It's class to watch, and obviously we'll probably discuss that finish. But you're talking about nonchalant. Any other player in the team would have just tried to hammer that ball, and I don't know how he's done what he's done, but it's amazing.
It's cultured, it's cultured. So obviously the first goal is a slide tackle, but ties into the fact that we are pretty good at. We've been much better and more effective now in the opening stages of matches, grabbing goals, taking the game by the scruff of the neck. Since we've changed shape to the 4-2-3-1, we're a lot more assertive in terms of we don't have this grow into the game mentality that we had in the 3-4-3. 3-4-3 leaves you massively wide open, susceptible to balls over the top and all that. So I get it that you have to protect against that, but we see more balanced, like we've said before, with the 2 in midfield and then the 3 in front, 4 at the back, where that's the shape that suits who we have. So
what I do like about it as well, sorry to just cut you off, but talking about the shape, you're no seeing that pass to Kingsley, pass to Halkett, pass to Suter, and then it goes back the way. The ball is constantly going forward, which is great.
And that comes from the fact that the midfield 2 are where they are on the park. Like, do you know what I mean? They can drop that a little bit deeper. They can carry the ball. Halkett or Kingsley can actually go by them, and there's still numerical advantage in that middle of the park. We've seen it when we played Aberdeen at Tynecastle. We've seen it when we played Aberdeen away from home. We had 2 in the midfield, and they sat with 3 in the midfield. One of them being Scott Brown, and we literally could not string passes together. Motherwell did it to us as well. Rangers, Celtic did it to us at Tynecastle too until we changed shape and brought Benny on. It's just balance to the team is making us look. We're balanced up front, balanced at the wing back areas and the right back and left back areas now. Get good balance in the middle of the park too, which is class. We'll talk about Barry Mackay's volley in a minute because it was absolutely sensational. But Atkinson, like you said, I think his attacking ability is brilliant. I think he's really active, really. positive in terms of where he wants to go on the pitch and carrying the ball, and he's a bit of a grafter and a fighter and all that sort of stuff. Very similar to Cammy Devlin in that sense. Defensively, probably still has some question marks in terms of where he is, but my hope for that is that it's more a naivety about how Scottish football is played rather than defensive ability, if you know what I mean. Like he's been brushed off the ball a few times quite easily when, you know, he needs to learn the old Presley flop type thing. But his assist for the second goal for me is a great goal. You know, great work for Sims, as Shanks says, picks out Atkinson, and then a beautiful pick out for Barry Mackay. It was good to see win it.
I genuinely thought it was a miss kick to begin with. Like, I thought he's just hitting hope into the penalty area. But when you look at it sort of slowed down, he's lifted his head, literally picked out that pass straight to where Barry Mackay wants it. And it's brilliant.
Kev, talk us through the volley in real time in the stadium. What was your first thoughts on it?
It was, to be honest with you, it was really, really weird because everybody, as soon as the cross comes in, there seemed to be like a 2 or 3 seconds of just nothing. Everything was really quiet. There was no fans shouting. There was no nothing. As he actually gets his foot to what, in my opinion, was actually a really poor cross because there didn't seem to be any pace on it. There seemed to be nothing. You were like, what the hell are you expecting Mackay to actually do? Oh, right. That's what you're expecting him to do. Right, okay, my bad. But no, it was really strange because it went really, really quiet. Then, of course, he's made great connection with it. The keeper, and I want to thank, I can't even mind what the boy's name is, but I'm going to thank him because he made it look even better by diving like a prick. So for that point of view, it was beautiful. And then my only little bit of pissed offness about the actual goal itself is that Mackay didn't go and do what we expected, like Devlin to do, or somebody go and do and go absolute nuts because he's actually hit a worldie. He just walks off nonchalant as if to say,
"Do that every week."
Aye, I knew that was coming. Been waiting. I actually didn't want to score before the day. I just thought I'd keep it going until round about March time, and then I'll score that goal. And everybody else then celebrated for him. And some of the reactions for the players like Halliday, Haring, Woodburn, McInnes, I think it was Halkett, just stood there and applauded him. I thought that was lovely to see.
Aye, and I think we highlighted it when Benny got his first goal. We highlighted it when McInnes scored off the bench, and all that sort of stuff. Is you can see the togetherness of the team is there for everybody to see. Everybody was absolutely buzzing, and I'm trying to think if I've seen a better reaction to a Hearts goal from the teammates to Barry Mackay's volley on Saturday. It was superb. Right, next up for Hearts, we're away to Ross County. Another one of the hoodoos or voodoos or whatever you want to call it for this run. I would have loved to have seen us put the St Johnstone thing to bed. That'll always upset me this season, that how shite they've been and the state that they're in, that we haven't beaten them at St Johnstone this year. But the other one's Ross County. We seem to have it'll be a draw on Saturday or whenever we play them, because we draw every single time we play Ross County. So it would be good to get a win up there. If anybody thoughts on it, or
if you boys want to put together a like package to get me my ticket and my travel up and down and my drink, I'll happily go up, because the last time we won there, I was also there, so I might be the lucky omen.
I was going to go, Kev. If you want to go,
aye, let's see if we can organise something.
Are you paying for everyone then, Corbett? That's what he was asking, realistically.
Nope. Nope. But I'll go up.
Hey, let's see. We'll see if we can get someone sorted out. But
just wear that jumper, Kev, for a ticket, mate.
Aye, OAP.
This must be coming over badly, but I can promise you guys, it is a maroon jumper.
Hand out the Werther's Originals.
Aye, in the back of the car.
So when is the game? 2nd April or something like that?
Aye, 2nd April, week on Saturday. And if I'm being truthfully honest, I want to overturn them. Given the fact that the performance back at the beginning of the season. We actually played really well. Kingsley scored an absolute worldie of his free kicks. And we came away with a 2-2 draw. It was ridiculous. But they had like a deflected goal and then 1-0 come off some boy's arse.
Aye, pure shanna.
So for that point of view, I think we were robbed. And I want to see it overturned next weekend.
It shows it.
Easy for you to say.
This has been class tonight.
Pure drunk damn. It shows you how good Heats have been this season, where we're not even talking about Stephen Kingsley. Stephen Kingsley's been phenomenal, man. What a football player.
That's
it. I just wanted to say that because we're not mentioning Stephen Kingsley the whole podcast, and he's literally superb.
Another that deserves a Scotland colour, but okay.
Fucking shut up. Stop bringing them into it, man. No one cares. No one cares, Thomas. Right, predictions in. Might as well. There's nothing else. Fucking Ross County are another team I'd fold immediately. Get them out the league. It's too far away. Basically, stadium's in a car park. Get them out the league. They're pathetic. Right, Shanks. Predictions. What are you thinking?
2-1 Scotland. I think Lewandowski will probably get a penalty.
Right, Kev.
For next.
Right, come on,
Are you going for it?
I think we'll get beat 2-1, and that will lead to the downfall of us getting punted out the cup against Hibs.
But Paul Hartley in for the semi.
Aye. Robbie out, Hartley in.
I'm with you. Right, Kev, what's your thoughts?
As I've just said earlier now, I do feel that I think the players themselves will want to overturn and address the scoreline from earlier in the season. I know what we've been saying around about the fact that we come off an international break, we usually are shite and we draw. But I'm hoping that we do overturn it and we come away with a 2-1 victory.
Nice. I don't have to say allegedly if I say that Malky Mackay's a racist cock, don't I? Do I have to say allegedly?
Nah, fuck him.
Aye, well, there you go. Cool. Right, Tam, what's your prediction then?
Repeat Boxing Day, 2-1.
2-1. Okay. I'm repeat of the first game, 2 each. I think it'll be a 2 each draw. I think what you'd said earlier, Tam, about potentially resting players or looking to rest players for the derby with one eye towards the semi, I think will potentially be that situation with County. You'll maybe no rush certain people back for that game with one eye looking, right, well, actually, if we get a draw there, get down the road, depending on how results go, like you said, a victory in the derby can knock Hibs down and have them in the bottom 6 for the season, which would be quite fun.
If that's the case, then did we throw the game against Ross County?
They're chasing into
they're only a point behind, so we could effectively throw that game, give them 3 points, push them into the top 6, and then effectively recompose ourselves for the derby at Tynecastle on the 9th, beat Hibs and put them into the bottom 6. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Cool.
All our opinions are
of all the words you said there, Kevin. Yes, I agree.
Magic.
I agree. Right. Pretty much it. We've spoken enough shit tonight, so we'll just, and if anybody else has got anything else you've got to talk about, we'll just get the Kevin McKenna's call it a night.
Oh, I forgot about those. Just call it a night, man.
Because you don't want to make yourself look a Tam.
I don't think anyone's going to get the first one. I'm calling it.
So that is interesting you say that. So the first one was colourful character who finished his career in maroon. 3 goals in his 22-game Hearts career and did work for Jose Mourinho at Real Madrid. So, Tam, you are definitely out. I can tell by the facial expression.
It's Ian Cathro. We only scored 3 goals under him.
Well, we did beat Rangers 4-0 in one game, but
4-1. That was fine.
It was just a wee joke, man. They need to take serious.
All right.
They get you're getting fucked off a laptop day as well. We beat Kelly 3-0, which was quite good.
Right. Shanks, do you want to take a guess?
Come on then, give your answer.
Do you want to take a guess at
I was just going through like Spanish players and it didn't match any of your criteria, so just to get past this awkward moment, I'll say Palazuelos, but he played much more than 22 games.
He certainly did, mate. You are correct. So that is, is not Palazuelos. Corbett, I know that you've been on the porcelain telephone, probably your mobile phone, trying to work out who this particular player is. Tell us.
What capacity did they work for?
He was one of the what they classed as like an away game scout. So he would go and look at the teams that they were playing next in either in Europe or in the league.
Colourful character, 22 games, retired. Last game played with Hearts. What era are we talking about? It'll be 2010-ish, won't it? Because that's when he was. That's when he was at Real Madrid, was it?
No. So this player played with Hearts up until '96 and was at Real Madrid in 2010 as part of the actual network of scouts amongst.
I'm taking it. Pasquale Bruno. That's my guess.
Not bad, actually. You're not far off. Stefan Payet.
Ah. Nice.
There we go. So I feel like for the first time since we've been, I actually win one.
Fantastic, Kev. You cut off. Brilliant. Let's call it a night, boys. Well done, Shanks. Getting Stephen Pye. Really proud of you. How did you know that?
Brilliant. Well done, Shanks. Well done.
H-E-A-T-S. He's glorious.
Folk are going to think that I've actually sung that, Nurse. Yeah.
No, you only sing Viva Kujabi. That's it. Right. That's pretty much it. We've got nothing else to talk about, do we?
The second
Stephen Elliott.
Aye, Stephen Elliott.
Well done. Good. Right.
Yeah.
Cheers.
That's getting up there with Ismail Bouzid. The amount of times that game, that goal, that moment features in this podcast. We all make mistakes, Kevin.
Certainly do, mate. We certainly do. I wore a brown sweatshirt tonight.
Aye, that jumper, aye. That's fine. Right, boysies. I'll see you
guys.
Fucking hell. We're not doing it next week because there's nothing to talk about. We're not talking about Scotland, so we'll see you in a week's to 2 weeks' time, alright?
Cheers, lads.
Sounds good. See you later.
Bye. Gorgie out.